Each year, MLK Day is a time to reflect on Dr. Martin Luther King's message of justice and equality. For many, it's a time to celebrate and inspire others through the performing arts. The New York Choral Society has collaborated on a new art film that celebrates MLK through words, music, poetry, and dance. Let's take a look. The work is called The Caged Bird Sings for Freedom, and joining us now to tell us all about it is the Society's music director, David Hayes, and guest dancer and choreographer, Marjani Forte-Saunders. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David, this piece has several layers of inspiration, starting with the iconic poem by Maya Angelou, Caged Bird.
Yeah, I mean, the piece, Joel Thompson's composition is obviously based on Maya Angelou's famous poem, and sort of the beauty of it is the way that he composed the work to sort of take this metaphor of the caged bird who is however you want to use the metaphor of oppression, whether it's that they're chained, they can't express themselves in any other way because their wings are clipped, their feet are tied, they're held in a cage, and it's contrasted with another bird, a free bird, who has all the benefits of life and enjoys freedom. And the contrast in the piece is between the caged bird and the free bird, and what ultimately becomes sort of the inspirational idea is that the caged bird, while restricted, has one thing that they still can do, and that is use their voice in this metaphor to sing. And what does the caged bird sing for? The caged bird sings for freedom. So it's a metaphor for using words and for using one's voice to fight for freedom and to achieve freedom ultimately, hopefully, through the use of one's voice and or words.
Yes. Amazing. And Marjani, you are in fact the bird in this piece.
I am the bird, and I think that in my embodiment of even this idea of being caged and or free is a desire to look at those things in relationship to like the complex embodiments of our humanity. That in any given circumstance, we are all of those things, and often and arguably as a country really trying to materialize and wrap our heads around what freedom is. What is a freedom that actually isn't at the expense of others, right? And so I think that trying to embody that kind of complexity, the grandness of a bird that might be in cage, and the grandness of a bird that is experiencing a kind of metaphorical freedom. How do we embrace the complexity of those experiences?
Yeah. And what were some of the challenges? Obviously, this is a difficult time for the performing arts, but the Society has continued, and you were able to put together this very unique art film.
Oh, the challenges. I think we're all doing a very steep learning curve of performance outside of the live realm. So we all are getting to interact with the camera in a way that we haven't as intensely as we have lately. I think that's also a grand opportunity because the camera has always been good to dance. And I think we're not the first to discover and rediscover and rediscover. And so the challenges immediately became opportunities. And I think there's also a net of folks with me that I got to connect with, including artists like MX Oops and Jasmine Hearn. Just folks who are willing to, Jade Robertson, folks who are willing to come and be present with me on set and give me feedback in real time to help me understand what's translating the camera.
Yes, and it certainly came out beautifully. How do you think this work specifically speaks to Martin Luther King's message?
I think Reverend Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I think his message was quite complex, as I say. And I think even towards the latter, like I say, towards the time of his life that would come to an end, he was saying that, I think this conversation about integration is actually more complex, that what we are talking about is power. And how can we have more honest conversations about power? Freedom that comes at the expense of other communities isn't freedom at all, but is a kind of robbed supremacy. And so then how do we begin to rediscover, or how do we begin to discover the kind of liberation that elevates our humanity? And I think that that's also what Maya Angelou is speaking to in Cagebird, and what Joel Robinson beautifully brought up in his composition.
Well, this is really an incredible collaboration. The Cagebird Sings for Freedom. It can be found on the Society's website and YouTube page. Anyone can watch it there. Certainly one of the benefits of doing virtual collaborations like this. David Hayes and Marjani Forte-Saunders, thank you both so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s family is honoring his legacy just days